What is up, people? Are you looking to get a job or become a game designer at a game company? Are you looking to design beautiful, immersive games, create game worlds, do level design, create narrative, create storytelling, and make beautiful video games? Well, for all of that, of course, you need the skills, but you also need a beautiful game design portfolio. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step process as to how you can build a world-class game design portfolio, put it out there, and then get a job, the kind of job you want as a game designer. So let's go. All right, people. Now, firstly, you have to understand what exactly a game designer does. This is super important. A lot of you may be confused as to what exactly a game designer does. Some of you may think, oh, I'm going to be creating characters, I'm going to be creating houses, environments, I'm going to be using Blender. So, well, if you're confused about what exactly a game designer does, firstly, I would recommend watching this video so that you can understand what exactly is the role of a game designer and how it's different from that of an artist. So straight up, first of all, let me explain to you what a game designer does really briefly. A game designer creates the gameplay of the game, understands what exactly the player is doing in the game. What is the story? What is the narrative? What are the mechanics? What are the controls? What the player does, how the player feels, how the player is taught things, the controls of the game, moment to moment, the experience of the game, and also the building of the game world is the responsibility of the game designer. And your job as a game designer is going to be able to create all this stuff in your mind, put it down into a document, and then explain it to the rest of the team, right? So now your portfolio has to be built in such a way that someone who wants to hire you as a game designer understands that you know all these things. So how do you build a portfolio as a game designer? Step one, you have to actually build a game. So my recommendation as a game designer is that you should actually have at least one game built as a game designer in your portfolio. Now, this doesn't have to be a big game. This can be a small game. This can be a game in which you did the level design, you did a little bit of narrative, you did a few things, and this should ideally be a game in a team and not a solo project. Why? Because anybody who wants to hire you as a game designer is going to think that they want someone who knows how to work with other people. So you have to demonstrate to them that you know how to work with designers or artists or programmer and actually build a game from scratch, design a game from scratch. Most importantly, this game should be in your portfolio, right? How should you show that game in your portfolio? I'm going to tell you right now. First of all, as a designer, you need to have documentation. You should have a concept document, which is basically just a 1 or 2 page sheet of brief overview of the game. What is the game? What is the high concept? What is the art style? What is the gameplay? Just a one single page of a concept document. A game designer should know how to create a concept document. Next, you should have a game design document. Definitely have a game design document in your portfolio. Game design document is a much bigger document. It could be 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, 200 pages, which has the details about the game in great depth. You can watch a video about how to make a game design document right here, and you can build a game design document. You can actually embed it in your site. You can have people actually download and have a look at it, right? Next up in your portfolio, you need to have some level diagrams. If you want to be a level designer, you need to actually do some levels, make some levels, have those diagrams, and have an explanation of how you created those levels. What was your learning process? What was the iteration? What did the level look like first? Then how did the level look? What changes you made? How you build the flow of the game. You have to have those diagrams. You have to have the explanation of how you did that. You can put that in your game designer portfolio. Next up, a very important thing as a game designer is to actually have an explanation of your design process, which is why I always encourage game designers to have a development log for their games in which they mention what happened, what was their process, the iterative process, the design process, what they thought, how they implemented it, what changes they made to the design. This is very important for people to understand because this shows your thinking as a designer. It shows your growth as a designer. You don't have to have a very, very complex or complicated game, but you have to be able to show this process, right? And one more very important thing which I would recommend for game designers, especially in India, is to have breakdowns of games. You can play a popular game and examine the level design. You can play Black Myth Wukong and you can actually break down the levels of the game, how the levels were, how you felt, what the progression was, etc. And also, particularly in India, I encourage you to do a breakdown of a free-to-play game. This is a game which is free, and the economy of the game, how the game is monetizing, how you played the game, how the game actually earns money. A breakdown of a free-to-play game design, a breakdown of a free-to-play game is a very, very useful thing to have in your designer's portfolio. In the description, I'm going to put down some portfolios of game designers from Gamer to Maker and otherwise, and you can actually see these portfolios and you can understand how they were built and you can take guidance from them. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Let me know what the other content you want. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know in the comments. Let's go.